Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the #1 manifestation technique. No matter what it is that you want in life, whether you want to manifest your soulmate, your dream career, make more money, manifest your dream house, your dream body, your dream lifestyle, whatever it is that you want to create, everything boils down to this one thing, which is your identity and your self-image. And your self-image is the way that you view yourself, how you identify, the labels that you put on yourself. All of that is your self-image and your identity. And depending on how you currently see yourself will manifest into your reality, and it creates the reality that you experience. So for example, if you really want to make $10,000 a month, but you currently see yourself as somebody who's not capable of that, you don't see that ever even happening for you because you just don't believe that's possible because of your type of self-image, then you will never be able to manifest that $10,000 a month that you desire until you change your self-image to be in accordance with somebody who naturally makes $10,000 a month. Right when you change your self-image to be in accordance with what it is that you desire and you get in alignment with that, with how you view yourself, all of a sudden it will manifest into your life. But nothing will ever manifest until you shift your self-image to being in alignment with what you want to attract. And this is because your self-image is the framework of your being. It's the container and the box that you put yourself in. And if you have a limiting self-image, just like a plant in a pot, if that plant continues to try to grow bigger, but you keep it in the same really small pot, eventually that pot will not be able to sustain the amount that that plant wants to grow. It will become root bound and it will likely begin to wither away or drop leaves or eventually even pass away and die. And a very similar thing happens to us as humans. If we have goals that we really want to attain, but our self-image keeps us stuck in that limited pot, we're unable to expand outside of that. We become sort of root bound and we don't feel as if we are achieving anything. There's a lot of resistance. Every time we try to expand, all of a sudden we can't because we're stuck in that limited container or that limited pot. And everything that you currently have in your reality and every pattern and cycle and experience that you have, all of it can be traced back down to your self-image. Your self-image is the root cause of everything that flourishes and happens and gets created in your life. And your self-image is also the difference between having power or having to use force in your life. So if you currently feel like you have certain goals that maybe have not manifested, you've been noticing a lot of resistance with them, that is because you're in the force aspect where you have that limiting self-image that's not allowing you to expand outside of that, and you're not getting the results that you want. That is a telltale sign that your self-image does not match your goal that you have. However, if you really want to achieve something and your self-image is in alignment with that achievement and you think, oh, that's going to be easy for me, that's totally possible, you'll notice that there's little to no resistance along that path, and it just happens. You're able to work through things so much easier and you're able to reach that end goal so much faster. And that is because your self-image was in alignment with what you were trying to get. And a really common example that most of us have probably struggled with at some point in our life, if you've ever really wanted to get in shape or get the body of your dreams, but you didn't see yourself as somebody who's a gym goer and who is motivated to do those types of things, you might have noticed a lot of resistance every time that you tried to go to the gym and start being one of those gym goers who works out really frequently. And you might have noticed, again, a lot of resistance with that. But that's because it was out of accordance to your self-image. And us as humans, we never want to act out of accordance to our self-image. It feels unnatural. It's going to feel weird. So anytime that you have a self-image that goes against a goal that you have, it doesn't matter how hard you try to get towards that goal, everything is going to feel weird, resistant. It's going to feel like it's not you, and you're gonna really want to revert back to how you identify. It's gonna be so much easier to revert back to that version of you because that's what feels good and that's what feels natural. And the same thing happens when we either want to manifest our soulmate, but maybe we currently view ourselves as somebody who only ever attracts guys who are unavailable, or we see ourselves as somebody who just has a hard time with love and nobody ever wants us back. And if that's the case, that is going to end up perpetuating in your reality because of the fact that that is your self-image. That's going to play out and cause you to act in certain ways and be attracted to certain people. And you might notice that you have this unconscious habit of always being attracted to people who are unavailable, but it's because it is equal to how your self-image is. If you have a self-image that's equal to that, unconsciously, you're just always going to be attracted to the people who are unavailable and never there for you. All of this is happening on an unconscious level, and that's why most of us don't even realize that our self-image has this big of an impact. Or even if you're wanting to manifest owning your own business and creating $10,000 a month, if you don't feel worthy of that, even when you get an idea or an opportunity that could lead you to creating $10,000 a month, if you don't believe you're worthy of it, you're not going to take action on it because it's not going to feel in alignment for you. You're all of a sudden going to question yourself. You're not going to feel good enough, and therefore you're going to self-sabotage and revert back to what you feel comfortable with. So your self-image is everything when it comes to manifesting. And it doesn't matter how many goals you have, if you do not align your self-image and your identity, it will never happen. So now with all of that information, now you might be wondering, so what are the steps to actually shifting my identity? How do I do that? And I'm going to give you 5 steps in this video for shifting your identity. It is a process that requires work and it requires patience, but if you dedicate the next 30 days towards shifting your identity, you will make a massive shift. But before we dive into those 5 different steps, I wanted to give a huge shout out to today's video sponsor, which is Aura Health. And Aura Health is an app that's specifically for improving your overall well-being and your quality of sleep, and it's such a great platform to dive in more to your spiritual practices. And if you're wanting to do an identity shift, they have so many different modalities that can really help you with that, such as meditation, journaling, breath work. They even have one-on-one coaching, different podcasts that you can listen to, and they have tons of different content on manifesting or even hypnosis to really help you wire in a new identity. And I've personally used this app so many times with my own identity shifting practices. I love using their visualization meditations, and I love also listening to their affirmations so that I can really wire in new ways of thinking and tap into the mentality of the new me. And if you are interested in trying out Aura Health, I invite you to join me on a 30-day meditation challenge so that you can visualize the new you and fully tap into the new identity. And the first 500 people to use the link down below in the description box will get a free trial plus an exclusive 25% off of the Aura membership. And again, all that information is linked down below, and the first 500 people will get the free trial plus an exclusive 25% off. And thank you so much to Aura Health for sponsoring today's video. And without further ado, let's dive right back into the steps for shifting your identity. So step number 1 in doing an identity shift is to first do a life audit. Look at all different aspects of your life. What is your self-image within those different aspects of your life? And are you satisfied with those different aspects? This is the part where you're going to want to bring a lot of focus to, because this is your main foundation for building a new self-image. And the reason being is because we can never build a new self-image if we're not currently aware of what our current self-image might be and where we're being held back. So this is a thing that you're going to want to spend a lot of time on. Maybe dedicate an entire day for really just going through and reflecting on this piece. And you can even add to this list over the next 7 days. So as you continue your life, you might have different epiphanies that come up of like, oh, I just realized I have this other self-image where maybe I'm never confident to speak to new people, and maybe that's stopping me in my social life or my dating life or something like this. Or maybe you're going to notice over the next 7 days that maybe you have different beliefs about money, and maybe you have this belief that you can never spend your money because you don't believe that you could ever make it back, or whatever your current self-image is around all of those different areas of your life. You're going to really want to do a lot of self-reflection. This is a time to go into a little bit of a hermit mode and really be honest with yourself and take a good look at your current self-image. Step number 2 in this process is to create a clear and detailed vision of exactly what it is that you want. The more clarity that you can add onto your vision of what you want to manifest into your life, the better. But I would highly recommend focusing on at least the emotions that you want to feel. So let's say that you don't quite yet know what you want to do within your career, at least define how you want to feel within your career, because this will really help you understand where you need to go with your self-image moving forward. So that next step is creating that clear, detailed vision. Focus on how you want to feel in those different aspects of your life, and focus on what it is that you want to manifest. What do you really want your life to to look like. And I would highly recommend allowing yourself to really dream here. A lot of us hold ourselves back when it comes to what we desire because our previous self-image might not think that it's possible, but allow yourself to expand at least a bit. Step number 3 in this process is to create a detailed vision of who you need to become. So when you look at your list, your inspiring vision that you have for yourself now, ask yourself, who is that person that is living that life? How do they view themselves? What is their self-image and what is their identity? So if you all of a sudden now became the person who makes $10,000 a month and is living with their soulmate and they're so happy, what is the self-image of that person? How do they view themselves? Are they more confident? Do they hold themselves differently? Do they communicate differently? What changes about that person? Do they feel more whole? Do they feel more fulfilled? Do they feel like they have more self-love and self-appreciation? What is that self-image of that person? What does it feel like to be that person? You really want to allow yourself to tap into that and give yourself space for reflecting on this. And it's so funny because so many people think that they will become the identity once they achieve the goal, but that is so backwards. You will actually never achieve a goal until you first become the identity. Because in order to even take those action steps to achieving that goal, you need to already be that identity who believes in themselves, who has the confidence to do it, who knows that it's possible for them. You need to already adopt that identity to even be confident enough and even have the subconscious programs that say, yes, let me take that opportunity. Let me take action on that. Because it's all your subconscious programs. All of your identity is creating your subconscious programs. And if your identity says that, oh, that's not possible, that's never gonna happen for me, that's never gonna work out, I'm not capable of that, I'm not worthy of that, that's gonna affect all of the different actions that you take in your life. It's gonna affect what you say yes to and what you say no to. And if that limiting self-image is there, you are never gonna be able to expand to that goal without first changing your self-image. So a lot of people have it backwards and they think, oh, I'm gonna feel that way once this thing happens. But you have to feel and be and act that way before the thing can ever even manifest. So that's why a lot of people have issues and struggles when it comes to manifesting, is because they're doing it backwards. They think that they'll be that person once it happens. But in order to make it happen, you actually need to be that person first. So that's why all of these steps are so important in creating that foundation first and foremost. Step number 4 is to do a big clean out of your life. So after you've made your clear self-image of who you need to become, that next step is to evaluate, what do you need to let go of in your life? What is holding you back? Are there certain habits that you have from your old identity that are keeping you stuck in that same limited self-image, such as maybe scrolling on your phone makes you feel really negative about yourself, and it constantly makes you feel like you're comparing yourself to others, and it depletes your energy and it depletes your amount of self-love. Well, maybe that's a habit that we need to get rid of then. Or, for example, maybe we have friends that constantly, perpetuate negative behaviors or other things that we know we wouldn't be doing if we were that new self-image living that new life, such as maybe going out and binge drinking instead of working on your goals, or maybe you have friends that are not being supportive of you in some way, shape, or form. And if that's the case, it's time to distance ourselves from those people and also stop partaking in the activities that you know that you wouldn't be doing if you already had your manifestation and if you were that new self-image. It is time to do a clean out and an overhaul of your life. So that is step number 4. Then step number 5 is to fully embody. So step number 4 was that huge clean out, the clear out. Step number 5 is the full embodiment and practicing embodying that new you every day. So what are those new routines? What are those new habits that you would have? And maybe perhaps you'll even notice that that new self-image, she might dress differently. She might hold herself differently. She might be attracted to entirely different things than your old self-image was. And how that new self-image would go about their day, what would their routine be? What would their interests be? What would they now have the confidence to say no to And what would they now have the confidence to say yes to? However your new identity would be and act, and the environment that they would surround themselves in, if they were in your shoes right now, how would they act? How would they be? What would their environment look like? And one powerful tool that you can do in this step is to actually shift your environment in some way, because this helps tell your subconscious mind, like, I'm making a shift right now and things are going to be different. And you want to embody that. You want to feel that energy. And one of the best ways to do that is practicing visualization meditations. And there is so many studies that show that when you do visualization meditations, or you even just take time to imagine your life as the new you, it creates new neural circuitry in your brain as if you're actually living it right now. And the more consistently that you can visualize that and tap into that emotion and that vision within your imagination, you're going to wire in new habits and new neural circuitry, which is going to help you amplify this new self-image even more. It's going to help really wire it in. This is when you truly start reprogramming your mind, and you're going to notice that you become an entirely new person. You're going to become more in alignment with yourself and more in alignment with your goals. And that's the whole point of doing an identity shift, is getting in alignment with your dream life, with the things that you want to manifest. Because as you do that, now they're just flowing in naturally. You don't even have to force it or anything. This is how you tap into effortless manifestation, is rewiring and reprogramming your mind to be in alignment with those goals and with those desires. And the way that you do that is through an identity shift, changing your self-image. Right when you start seeing yourself as that person who has those things and who is capable of that, now it is going to flow in your life naturally. It is going to feel effortless. Now when you go sit down and try to work on that big business project that you have, it's going to feel natural for you because it's part of who you are and it's part of your identity. And now when you try to go to the gym and eat healthy, it's part of who you are and it's your identity, so it's easy, it is effortless, and there's no resistance because it's literally who you are. You've made it into who you are. Now when you go on dates, you're gonna notice that you're also attracted to different people, especially if you did this identity shift. Now you're gonna be attracted to people who probably also like you back because you've shifted your identity out of the old identity where maybe we were always attracting people who weren't emotionally available and who didn't have interest in us back. As you do this identity shift, the things that you're attracted to will change, the things that you choose will change, your thoughts will change, your emotions will change, your actions will change, and it will lead to entirely new results, and you'll be living a new reality. And one little secret that I'll give you if you want to expedite this process, the more elevated that you can bring your emotions and the more that you can amplify the emotions around this new identity, you will actually strengthen the new neural pathways that you're creating in your brain. So studies have shown that whenever you feel a strong emotion around something, it creates a stronger memory or neural pathway in your brain. So the more amplified that you can feel, the more good emotions that you can feel during this next month, you will be really wiring in the new you. And it's okay if you feel negative once in a while. It's okay if you don't feel anything at all once in a while. That's normal. However, if you can just evoke really good amplified emotions, at least for like maybe 5 minutes a day, this is gonna really help strengthen those new habits that you're creating and strengthen this new identity so that it wires in much more permanently and much quicker. So that is the last little thing I'll leave this video off with. Thank you so much for joining me here for today's video all about reinventing yourself. I'm sending you so much love, and until next time, bye.